But let's move on to NXT. Real quick shout out to the opening match, which was Swerve Scott versus El Hijo del Fantasma, a Lucha Underground rematch of Killshot and King Cuerno. They had a very solid match with Swerve picking up the victory here, and then once again those Lucha kidnappers showing up to try and take Fantasma. So we'll see where that plays out. Once again, shades of old school, although without the van this time. And another quick nod. It's always good to see Casey Catanzaro on TV. I have really high hopes for her. I know she was just another victim for Candice LeRae and her new attitude here, but I really like her a lot, and she's a tremendous athlete. So we'll see if she can put it together. But what I really want to talk about first, is perhaps the best usage of Byron Saxton in the history of WWE television. I honestly must stand up and applaud whoever came up with this and whoever came up with the idea that this would be perfect for Byron, because it was. And this was Byron should always be in these kinds of segments. I see it now. Why? Like, if there is any appeal, it's Byron doing things like the Newly Bros show with Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher. One, a great name and just a sort of a good idea for a segment. At this point, it's akin to sort of like Fuji Vice with Mr. Fuji and Don Morocco, that the delivery is so bad it's good. It's just like even to him and Pete Dunne, like the acting is so atrocious that it works. So just lean into the fact that the delivery is flat, and I thought this segment really worked. I thought it was very entertaining. What did you think?
No, I loved it too, but definitely, like, I was watching it live and I was like, I felt like as most of a Raw type segment on NXT now. So I wondered the influence of stuff you might see on Raw or SmackDown now coming over to maybe the NXT brand now. So when I saw that, I was like, this is something you would see on Raw, but I did enjoy it. I enjoy, as you said, Byron Saxton being the overtop host for this.
He was perfect in that role. It just right down to the open collar and just everything. He was great. He was the MVP.
But Timothy Thatcher, it's his delivery. Like, obviously he's not used to doing stuff like this with his background on the indie scene and what he's done over in Europe. So for him, it was probably a little bit of a learning as you go, trying to deliver this. I think some of his delivery, maybe he should have waited a little bit, like after the question was answered, like just like a second or two to answer, and then have Matt Riddle give his answer as well. So I thought the time was just off just a tad, but that's just nitpicking. Like, if you just take it for what it was, still very fun, entertaining. So I'm just curious, was this stuff that they would have had planned anyway for Pete Dunne if he was able to travel over here?
I feel like it, because they definitely are trying to put Tim Thatcher sort of in that same Pete Dunne type role, in the same type of delivery.
Odd couple. Exactly.
And so I do think so. But it was a fun, entertaining segment, to be sure. We got Charlotte taking on Mia Yim, again, straight lifting from AEW with the good hand line, and according to Beth Phoenix, says one of the most disrespectful things you can be called as a wrestler. What'd
you think of the commentary this week? Like, I felt like
it was off.
It was all over Beth, like they were stepping on each other, and then Phillips, who was there, hardly said anything.
Yeah, Phillips barely said anything, and it was not their best effort. I will just say that, and it was noticeably not their best effort,
exactly.
which is unfortunate, because you never want that to be the case. But I'm not going to tweet anybody about that because I don't want to get canceled online. But anyway, so Charlotte and Mia Yim, I thought they had a good sort of back and forth competitive match. It was good backstory. Obviously Charlotte wasn't going to lose here, but I thought Mia Yim looked more competitive than I thought they were going to let her, so I was happy about that. But another standout moment, it wasn't much of a match, it was only a few minutes, but I am into this Dexter Lumis guy. Like, I dig him, dude. I love the look, his crazy eyes. The name is great, I hope, and I don't know this for a fact. I haven't done any research, but I assume that Dexter is coming from the show Dexter, and I think Lumis. I'm hoping anyway that Lumis is an homage to Dr. Loomis from the Halloween series, the original, starring Donald Pleasance, of course. And even his music is very like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I like this Dexter Loomis guy. What do you think about him so far?
Yeah, I'm digging it, but my only concern is like, okay, is he a babyface or is he a heel? Because it's like
Doesn't matter yet.
And that's the thing. It's a mystery right now. So, okay, I'll take it for what it is. But it's like, the first couple weeks he was like just dominating, squashing guys, and then you look like he was lurking from stalking the members of Undisputed Era, and then he helped out like Velveteen Dream, and then and now he's kind of taking out some of the bad guys now. So it's just, yeah, he's all over the place. So maybe is he kind of like this anti-hero? Because that's what Dexter was, right? The TV show. I never watched it.
He was a serial killer Robin Hood kind of character. But,
exactly.
I mean, I could definitely see him being an anti-hero. I could see them pairing him with Killer Cross. I could see them doing any number of things with him. But he's got great size. He's got a great look. He has a presence about him, to be sure. And so I'm very high on Dexter Loomis right now, and I just wanted to throw that out there because I think he has a bright future from what we've seen so far. But let's take it to the Drake Maverick maybe farewell tour, as again they're using his real life situation as a storyline. I think it's probably the best thing that could have happened to Drake Maverick under the circumstances. And he picked up a win over Tony Nese in a very emotional match. I liked the story this was telling. I like that Drake is very much alive in this tournament, and I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm bought in. I'm pulling for Drake to somehow pull this thing off. What do you think about this whole thing?
Yeah, the match itself. I mean, he was definitely selling a lot then, like making Tony Nese look like $1 million as far as just taking all the punishment that Tony was dishing out to him, but very pretty crazy finish as far as his almost like a bulldog move off the top rope and getting the victory. So definitely a little unexpected win, but it just adds to the storyline, like this underdog who pulled out a victory. He took the beating and then snuck out a win. So it's old school wrestling telling right there. So very cool to see that. So now I'm intrigued if they will let him kind of sneak out a couple more victories and like maybe actually win his group. I forget which, if he's Group A or Group B, it doesn't matter. But if he actually wins his group to get into the finals, that's going to be interesting. Now I kind of wonder if they will make him win, so then at least the story can continue through the finals, and then maybe lose in the finals, and then kind of like ultimate sad
coming up short ultimately. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Drake somehow saved his job here with how sort of bought in people are to this storyline. To be honest with you, it doesn't mean he's going to win the Cruiserweight Championship, but I would not be surprised if somehow he gets re-signed out of this whole deal. Who knows though? That remains to be seen. Very good main event this week though, with NXT North American Champion Keith Lee defending against Damian Priest. I really liked what they were doing for the most part here. And, Keith Lee successfully defends it. What'd you think of the main event?
Yeah, I mean, of course, anytime Keith Lee, amazing what he's done in the last, 6 months. I mean, going back to last year's Survivor Series, what he's done in the last 6+ months, really just becoming a huge fan favorite. Anytime he's in a match with another big guy, he delivers just his hard-hitting action. I love the one spot they were outside behind, the barricade, and he threw Damian Priest onto the ring, and it was that was a badass, just test of strength right there. And just once again, he's doing just such great matches, these bangers. I would not be surprised if he could be in the NXT Championship title picture very soon. I think he's very deserving.
I honestly thought that he would have leapfrogged the North American Championship and forced the issue and been in the main championship picture by now. When he was coming off the heels of Survivor Series and was really sort of the standout of that. I thought that was going to be the case, but he is a great North American champion thus far at any rate. So yeah, it was another nice good win for Keith Lee, and I'm high on Damian Priest too.
Okay.
So I like what he brings to the table. I think that they got they've got some legs there if they want to revisit this feud and what have you. But I like both those guys quite a bit.
I was just gonna say, and next week on NXT. It's definitely like a takeover feel as far as the matches they all lined up. They're going to be live as well next week, so there's going to be a ton of banger matches to look forward to. I mean, Io Shirai and Charlotte Flair, that was also introduced at the end of Charlotte's match this week, and I'm excited to see Imperium work on with the title scene now as well, and Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano, they're like new presentation in the ring. Johnny being like the ultimate cheerleader for Candice LeRae's new badass gimmick. So like NXT, like some of the character, a little bit of like restarts or shuffling of some of the storylines. I'm intrigued, and next week's gonna be a really fun episode.
Yeah, Johnny Gargano, I don't agree with the decision to turn him heel, but when I talk about people that have a fully fledged character and understand that character inside and out, Johnny is one of those people that just he gets it, and he knows who Johnny Wrestling is, whether he's a face or a heel.